Alright guys, we're Royal Russell here, and today I apologise that my review of Royal Rumble 2018 will be going up a little late. I'm also not that prepared. I'm not wearing a wrestling t-shirt, I'm just wearing my United shirt. Mwah. But yeah, this is going to be my Royal Rumble 2018 review. I apologise for it being a little late. I also apologise that my NXT TakeOver Philadelphia review will not be up till tomorrow. I actually haven't finished the show, but from what I've heard, it's pretty great. I've watched Gargano and Almas, and I will talk about that in that review. Oh my god, I'll talk about that in the review. And I've watched the first two matches, so I haven't seen the the end of the women's match. I haven't seen all that, and I haven't seen the Adam Cole match. But I'll talk about that in that review. Here we're going to talk about Royal Rumble 2018, a show that to me I was excited for because I was excited of the prospect of what both Rumbles could bring. The Women's Rumble is exciting, it's the first one, and they actually gave it the main event spot, which was a big deal. Now, I do also just want to say, I obviously did a quick 3-minute video after the end of the Rumble discussing what happened after the Female Rumble, and I'll get to that later on in this review in, I guess, a little bit more detail and kind of tell you where I think they're going to go, although it's pretty obvious where they are going to go. But we should get into this show because it was a long, long show, and I've got a lot to talk about. As far as going through both Rumbles, my plan is to go through each entrant and basically say what they did and if they got eliminated and who the Final Four were and all that sort of good stuff. So I really do need to get started. I didn't watch the pre-show. I'm not an idiot. Say that all the time. I caught the last 10 minutes of it, which was, okay, so I'll just run through the results. So I believe that Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and I don't believe, I have to read it. Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and Lince Dorado defeated TJP, Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak. I expected that. The babyfaces usually win in those 6-man tags for the cruiserweights. Then you had the Revival beating Gallows and Anderson. Didn't see that coming, but whatever. And then the match I did catch, the ending of Bobby Roode against Mojo Rawley. They botched the finish. Mojo did not go up for a glorious DDT. Just took a basic Jake Roberts DDT. And he lost to Bobby Roode in a US title match. Pre-show was useless. I don't even care. Let's get on to the main show. And the main show kicked off with the WWE Championship handicap matchup as AJ Styles, the champion, took on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I'm going to need this Lucozade a lot. I'm just going to have a quick sip. Delicious. Right. So this handicap match for the WWE title was probably the best handicap match I think I've ever seen the company do. Now, that's not that much praise because handicap matches are usually quite crap, but I thought that this one was done very well. I love the psychology of Owens and Zayn continuously tagging out, showing that this is one option they have that Styles doesn't. And then I liked the fact that the story was told well to the point that when Styles got in between Zayn in the corner and Owens in the ring, it felt like a big moment in the match. It felt like Styles had sort of one-upped them. He'd found a way around it. But then Owens would find a way around it by getting out the ring, getting in the other side, and then just tagging Sami in. So I thought the psychology of the handicap stip in this matchup was very, very smart. I've never seen it done like that before. And it mattered more here because this is the first time a WWE title has ever been on the line in a handicap match, I believe. So yeah, I thought the psychology was really, really well done. In terms of action, there was some good stuff. Obviously, Owens and Zayn kept Styles down. He obviously eventually would get his comeback. He never hit a lot of his big moves though. That was the thing. He got a calf. He worked on the leg of Owens, that injured knee. He locked in a calf crusher at one point, but Sami Zayn would get in and break the pin. Sami Zayn would tag himself in, would go for an O'Connor roll to Styles. Styles would grab the ropes. The referee would pull Zayn away. Owens would then hit Styles with a vicious super kick. Zayn hit him with a blue thunder bomb for the closest near fall of the night. Unbelievably close near fall there. Off a blue thunder bomb and a super kick. So Sami Zayn nearly won the WWE title. Styles would fight back with strikes. He would eventually hit a phenomenal forearm on Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens would get in and break it up. But then, basically, Sami Zayn tried to tag in Owens by jumping over Styles and reaching for him. And apparently the referee saw that he did, even though he didn't. At that point, Styles threw Zayn out of the ring. Owens got in, went for a pop-up powerbomb. Styles countered that into a roll-up. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles pinned Kevin Owens, who was not the legal man because the replay showed that Zayn actually hadn't tagged Owens. He just missed him. It was close and it was well timed, but he just missed him, which I think is smart storytelling because that Shane McMahon sort of conspiracy theory thing can carry on. And yeah, I thought this was actually a very good matchup. I think this was a really good way to open the show. You got three of the best workers in the company, three of the best workers on SmackDown Live, and they had a very good matchup. They couldn't do a lot better than this, but I thought this was probably the best they could do. I mean, close to the best they could do, really. Like, I'd want to give it more, but just, it was slow at the beginning, which it had to be to build it, which I'm fine with. And so, in the end of the day, I gave it 3.5 stars, which usually, like, when I give a match 3.5 stars, that's a very good rating. Like, that's still very good, and I did enjoy this one. I think a lot more because they overcame the stipulation, and they introduced some fantastic psychology and storytelling into a stipulation that's pretty much a drab and dead stipulation. So kudos to all three men for working that match extremely well. Then we had the next matchup, which was also SmackDown Live again. It was 2 out of 3 falls, Gable and Benjamin against the Usos. Okay, so I liked... Pardon me, I do apologise for that. I liked this match quite a lot. I thought it was very good, but I didn't see in the end why it needed to be 2 out of 3 falls. My original thought for this matchup was we'll go 2 quick falls and then the last fall will be long. So that's not how this worked. The first fall, they did everything under the sun. They literally kicked out, and my laptop has just gone off and I can't think why it's talking about updates. Sorry for getting close to the camera. But yeah, they literally kicked out of everything. So Benjamin hit the pay dirt. There was roll-ups. The Samoan splash was hit. There was literally every single move that these guys had in their arsenal. And, I mean, Samoan splashes, super kicks, everything in this first fall. And Gable and Benjamin were great, and so were the Usos. And there was really good tag team psychology, you know, working over the leg, and Gable and Benjamin working over Jey Uso's leg, I believe it was. And it was great. And the first fall was great, but as soon as the first fall ended, they hit a series of super kicks on Chad Gable. They hit about 5, and Chad Gable, I think it was 4 to be honest. Chad Gable was pinned after 4 super kicks. Good finish to the first fall. It lasted a bit long at that point, and I was like, we need to do 2 falls quickly, or they're going to clean sweep it. And basically what happened was, one of the Usos flew out of the ring, and Benjamin brought him back in, went for a suplex, and the Uso cradled him for the 1, 2, 3. And I thought to myself, oh my god, what? So the finish was wacky, and this was a match I really, really enjoyed. The crowd weren't dead, but they weren't incredibly loud for it. I thought that they honestly had such a fantastic little wrestling match, but the crowd hurt it. The second fall really hurt it, to be honest. It just sort of came out of nowhere. It seemed like a dead finish. It seemed like they basically need to cut the match down, which to me, if you're going to do like a 12-minute 2 out of 3 falls match, just do a 1-fall match. Like, there was no reason for that stip. It does nothing for Gable and Benjamin, who really got humiliated, whereas you should be putting the guys over. I don't think they should have won, but I don't think they should necessarily be getting 2 falls to none. I get that the Usos are this great tag team, but Gable and Benjamin needed something here. But I do still think it was a very good match, and for that reason, I'm going to give it the same rating I gave the opener WWE title match. 3.5 stars, 2 very good matches to kick off Royal Rumble. And next up, we would have the Royal Rumble match itself, so I'm definitely going to have to go down to the participants list and go through the names. Oh my god, my phone's literally blown up. But anyway, let's focus on this Rumble. Right, okay, so Royal Rumble 2018, the Men's Rumble would be the 3rd match on the show. This is the first time I think the Rumble's ever been this early on a show, which was remarkable when I think about it. Anyway, the number 1 entrant was Rusev, and he got a huge ovation from the crowd. He lasted about 30 minutes. He did very well for himself. And number 2 was Finn Balor. Basically, those guys didn't do much. There's a sort of, obviously, you know, the typical, oh, I'm going to throw you over, oh, I'm going to throw you over, all the teasers and stuff like that. Number 3 was Rhino. He didn't last very long though. As number 4, Baron Corbin came out and eliminated him very quickly. But Baron Corbin would then be eliminated by Finn Balor, who would just, you know, throw him over the top rope. Corbin would then kill everyone. He killed Rusev with an end of days. He killed Balor with a deep 6, I think, and then he killed Heath Slater, who was the number 5th entrant, who would be the comic relief for this Royal Rumble. Slater would be on the floor, get knocked down, and everybody, as the next entrant came in, they'd all attack him. Elias was number 6, and he came out, he sung to the crowd, and he said, the next entrant will not come in until my song is finished, and just before he finished, the countdown came on, and he was like, oh, damn it. And number 7 was the first surprise of the Rumble, Andrade Cien Almas. I really like this. I like the fact that the NXT champion is getting that sort of that promotion, because it means that that title has earned him something, and I appreciate that because it gives the title a bit more prestige, and it means that people should want it more. So good that Almas was in the Rumble, and he had a very good Rumble as well. In next was Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was just there, no offense to him. 9 was Big E. At this point, everyone came down and they were stomping on Heath Slater, and Big E instead gave him a pancake. Number 10 was Sami Zayn. Now, Sami Zayn, number 10 was supposed to be Ty Dillinger, which they were going to do 2 years in a row. But instead, Sami Zayn attacked Ty Dillinger, and I totally lost my train of thought. Zayn and Owens attacked Ty Dillinger, and Zayn said, I'll take his spot, don't worry about it. Zayn went out, and Zayn actually didn't last very long. He actually was eliminated pretty quickly. I can't remember exactly who by. I think it was Nakamura. Yeah, it was Nakamura who came in at 14. I'll get to that in a minute. 11 was Sheamus. Sheamus threw Heath Slater in the ring and was immediately knocked out, which I thought was actually quite a nice little story spot moment, because it was like Heath Slater finally getting something back in that Rumble. Heath Slater would then obviously be eliminated very quickly. Xavier Woods was number 12. Apollo Crews was number 13. As I said, Shinsuke Nakamura at number 14 for some reason. Oh yeah, I know why he's yellow now. Number 15 would be Cesaro, who I didn't think lasted very long either. Number 16 was Kofi Kingston, and number 17 was Jinder Mahal. Now we start to cut down a couple of the people. Jinder eliminates Big E and Xavier Woods, and he nearly eliminates Kofi, but Kofi somehow stays in it as his foot lands on Xavier Woods' chest, is eliminated, and then he basically just hops around ringside. Why has nobody ever thought of that? That's a really easy method to stay in. So Kofi gets back in, and he actually Trouble in Paradise's Jinder Mahal out of the ring. Jinder's eliminated. I believe by this point, Apollo Crews had been eliminated as well. Number 18 was Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins had an okay Rumble. He eliminated a couple of people. I think he did. I think he might have eliminated Crews, or I can't remember who else. Maybe Crews and Cesaro. Cesaro is the one he eliminated, I think, actually. Oh, he did. He did this really cool flip thing where he flipped him over the ropes with his feet. It was cool. Number 19 was Matt Hardy. Matt basically got in, did one thing, and he twist fated Cien, I believe, or he side effected Cien Almas, and then he basically brawled with Bray, and they both were eliminated. So great. 20 was John Cena. He eliminated someone, I believe. Someone. Number 21 was the Hurricane. That was exciting. That was very much exciting. Kofi by this point was eliminated. I believe he was eliminated by Cena, actually. Number 21 was the Hurricane. There's the second surprise of the whole Rumble, I believe. Yeah. And the Hurricane came in and he tried to chokeslam Cena. Cena just threw him out. It was comic relief. It was fine. It was nice to see Hurricane. 22 was Aiden English. That was cool because I thought he'd only be there to announce Rusev at the beginning, which he did. He sung for Rusev as he came out to Rusev Day. 23, another surprise from NXT. Adam Cole, baby, the leader of the Undisputed Era, would come out with his taped ribs from his match with Aleister Black, which I am yet to see, and I have been told it's great. But I guess I'll find out. Cole had a good Rumble as well. Orton would be next. Orton, no, I think Cien eliminated Kofi, didn't he? Because he hit El Idolo, the La Sombra, the Hammerlock DDT. So I can't think who Cena eliminated. He must have eliminated... I know he eliminated Hurricane, but he eliminated someone else. Anyway, Randy Orton was number 24. Titus O'Neil was 25. A couple of guys were eliminated at this point. I believe Cien was gone. Titus didn't last very long. Aiden English didn't last very long, bless him. Bless him. Finn Balor was still in at this point. He had a Rumble time of about 55 minutes in the end. 26 was The Miz, who also didn't last very long. He was eliminated by number 28, who I'll get to in a minute. 27, the biggest surprise of the whole Rumble night for me. And this was like my childhood, one of my favourites, with Benoit, Eddie, Kurt Angle, and this guy were my childhood favourites. Rey Mysterio came out at 27. I popped to shit in my living room. It was amazing seeing Ray. He looked so good. Like, genuinely, he was wearing tights now as opposed to pants, which made him look really skinny. But he looks really, really good. And I've seen him in Lucha Underground like a year ago, and he looked good there, but he looks really, really good here, and I loved his new outfit. If he's back, and that's cool, and he can do something for that Cruiserweight division, but damn, Ray's back. Maybe just for a night, but it was cool. Number 28, Roman Reigns comes out, immediately eliminates The Miz, and then he eliminates Seth Rollins, kind of turning on his Shield brethren, but hey, every man for himself. 29 was Goldust, which to me meant that number 30 had to be a big entrant. And number 30 was actually who I thought it would be. It wasn't Daniel Bryan. It wasn't The Undertaker. It was Dolph Ziggler. And I laughed. Like, part of me laughed. Part of me said, oh my God, Dolph Ziggler. Like I can't believe that Dolph Ziggler... Like, when he came out, I thought, I can't believe Dolph Ziggler's getting a monster push. 7 years too late. And it turns out it wasn't. He eliminated one person, which... I can't remember who it was, but he eliminated one person. And then he was eliminated by Nakamura. Oh, by Balor, sorry. And that was Dolph Ziggler. That was your number 30 entrant in the Rumble. So he's back, but he's not getting a push. And I don't care, because it's too late for Dolph Ziggler now. I really didn't care. So our final 6, I'll just get to that, were Orton, Cena, Mysterio, and then Reigns, Nakamura, and Balor. Balor lasting around 50 minutes at this point. And that's kind of like the Ruthless Aggression era, the icons of that era, Cena, Orton, Ray. 3 men who'd won Rumbles and main evented Mania. Well, I guess Ray didn't main event Mania, but he was in a world title match at Mania. And then you got the 3 men who are going to carry us forward with Balor, Nakamura, and Reigns, even though 2 of those men are in their late 30s. And then basically, Ray was eliminated by Reigns, I think, or was it Cena? It might have been Cena who eliminated Reigns. Ray. And then Orton was eliminated by Cena again, maybe? I'm trying to... Wait. Totally confused. Orton was eliminated by... Where is Orton? Oh, he's there. Was Reigns, yeah, sorry. And then Ray was eliminated by Balor, sorry, which actually people cried at, and I cried at as well. How do we do in 17 minutes? That's not too bad. So Ray was eliminated by Finn Balor. Orton was eliminated by Roman Reigns. We had our final 4, Balor, Nakamura, Cena, and Reigns. And this was like, oh my God. So basically we had moments where it was Nakamura and Balor, and that was really great. And then with Cena and Roman, and the crowd hated it. They were chanting, "You both suck." And I don't think they suck. I just didn't want either of these guys to win this particular Rumble. Like, any other Rumble is fine. But this particular one felt like it should be Nakamura's. And Balor was eliminated by... I can't even remember. I believe it was... Wait, no. Balor was eliminated by... Roman. Yeah. No, Balor was limited by Cena, and then we had our final 3, and Roman and Cena started to double team Nakamura, but Nakamura somehow would Kinshasa Cena on the apron, and Cena would be eliminated, and then we had our final 2 of Reigns and Nakamura. This final 2 was great. Like, I loved this final 2 so much. I was on the edge of my seat, praying to God that Nakamura would win. It was exciting. It was intense. There was moments where you thought Reigns could win or Nakamura could win. And I think it's the fact that either one could have won. Like, Reigns could win and go face Lesnar. Nakamura could win and go face Styles or Lesnar, to be honest. And it was exciting and breathtaking. Reigns hit a spear and both men had a double down. Nakamura hit Kinshasa and both men had that double down. And you just didn't know which way it was going to go. But finally, in the end, Nakamura dodges a spear, hits the Kinshasa, Reigns gets up and Nakamura sends him over the top rope. Shinsuke Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble 2018 and will be facing, he cut a promo after it, Renee Young asked him a question, who he'll be facing at WrestleMania 34. Nakamura simply said, AJ Styles. We are getting the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 9 IC title match. Yes, for the WWE title. Can they have a better match than the one they had at Wrestle Kingdom? I don't think so, because I know that the limits in New Japan are just much greater. They can do more. There's no chance that what they did in that match, they can do in that match at Mania. But maybe they can get more with less, and that's what I'm thinking they can do. They are both masterminds in wrestling, and they should have a hell of a match nonetheless. To the matchup itself, I thought it was a great match. Like, this was a really, really, really good Rumble. I thought that surprises were not all good. Ray Ray was awesome. I thought the NXT guys were really creative. I thought that Hurricane was kind of smart. But I think there was one more surprise. There is one more surprise. I'm just trying to remember who. Apparently I was wrong. No, yeah. But yeah, I thought this was a really great Rumble. The surprises were exciting. I thought the last two were really exciting. I thought there was so many little storyline moments with the Final Four and the Final Six where there were loads of callbacks, and I thought everyone looked good. I thought the NXT guys, Adam Cole, and I think Adam Cole was eliminated by Cena as well. Adam Cole and Andrade both looked good. Ray Ray looked good in his return. Jinder even looked good because, you know, he got 2 eliminations. And I thought this was a great Rumble that told a really, really good story over an hour. And it's a Rumble I could actually see myself rewatching, which is what I'll get to when I talk about the Women's Rumble as well. So yeah, I'm going to give this Rumble 4.25 stars. This was a fantastic Royal Rumble. It had great pace, it had great energy, it was exciting. The surprises were not even shocking. Like, my 3 guesses were surprises were actually Ricochet. I knew it would be someone from NXT, but I didn't expect Cole or Almas, but they were better picks than Ricochet, and they made more sense. I think my other pick was Debray, which of course didn't happen, but that's not the end of the world. He's retired, leave him retired. And I think my other pick that I thought would be in it was like Angle, and he wasn't, which wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, great Rumble, 4.25 stars, awesome Royal Rumble. After that, we had to quiet the crowd down, so we gave him a pretty boring Raw Tag Team title match. Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins, the champs, take on The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. This was a very boring, television quality Royal Rumble pay-per-view Raw Tag Team title match. And I'm not going to talk a lot about it. It wasn't that exciting. Jordan got sent into the ring post early and basically got concussed, I think, was the storyline, and he didn't get in the ring for the rest of the match. Well, he did for a second. Rollins, the only cool thing all match was a double frog splash from Rollins. Basically, at one point, Rollins was obviously the babyface in peril, and he couldn't get to Jordan because he wasn't on the ring apron. When he finally got on the apron, Rollins tagged him in for a second, but Jordan couldn't take the pain. So he tagged Rollins straight back in. Rollins was busy, like, saying, Jordan, where you going? Because Jordan, he's sitting on the steps. Rollins got bro kicked, and then he was hit with the white noise, the white noise, assisted white noise by The Bar. New tag team champions, The Bar, Sheamus, and Cesaro. This match was really boring. I'm going to give it 2 stars. It just didn't do it, and I guess the crowd were proper dead. Like, the tag match early on in the show was really good with, like, a kind of dead crowd. This was a proper dead crowd. So I can't blame the guys too much for it not being that exciting, but it just wasn't that exciting. Then we had the Universal Championship triple threat match. The Machine, the Monster, the Beast, Kane, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar. This was pretty much what I thought it would be, and was it about as good? Like, this is nothing on, say, that 4-way at SummerSlam. This was not as good as, like, the Joe match. You know, these monster, like, Godzilla matches they're doing now, that 4-way was like the peak, and I don't know if they'll ever match that again. Because this triple threat match was okay. It was sloppy. Like, Braun Strowman kneed Brock Lesnar in the face, and if it was anybody other than Brock Lesnar, and this is one of those reasons I don't think Braun Strowman should get the belt. He's so green. He's so sloppy. He's not a wrestler. Like, he's fine, and I like him, and I like some of his matches, but he's sloppy. Like, if the knee he gave Brock Lesnar to his head, if he gave that to a 200-pound man or anyone like below 190, they would be concussed immediately. It was a bad knee, and it really annoyed me when it happened. And Lesnar actually gave him a punch back, which don't aggravate the beast. Basically, this was just really a spot match as well. Like, you know, we've seen these Godzilla matches be. There was a running power slam from Braun to Lesnar for a table. He also gave him a power slam on the mat. Kane pushed Braun for a table. That looked really crap. Lesnar, you know, he F5'd Kane. He F5'd Braun through a table, an announce table. He F5'd Kane through an announce table. He stood up. He put one announce table on top of Braun that Braun pushed off. Then Braun and Brock got in the ring, and Braun hit a running power slam on him, and Kane choke slammed Lesnar, and he choke slammed Braun, and Kane went to Tombstone Brock at this point, and Brock countered it, and he pushed Kane into Braun, who'd been sent out of the ring. Braun fell off the apron. Kane turned into an F5 onto a chair. 1, 2, 3. Lesnar retains. I'm going to give this 2 3/4 stars. It was a fun little diversion. Like if you take your wrestling helmet off and just say, I knew what was going to happen, let's just enjoy it. Like, it was a fun little bit of carnage in Philadelphia, and they had to break some tables. But it was like leaps behind what I've seen these like monster Godzilla matches be. It wasn't as good as any of those, like that Goldberg match, for example, with Lesnar and Goldberg, and I'm saying "and" too much, and I just wanted a little bit more. I know Kane was in there, which kind of made it a bit boring, and it was a bit predictable. But like, predictable matches can sometimes be really great. Like Nakamura and Zayn in Dallas, for example, was predictable, but it was amazing. So the idea that a predictability makes a match dull is silly, because I've watched so many matches that were predictable, and like Bayley and Banks, I always knew Bayley was going to beat her for the title, but who knows? 2 3/4 stars though. That's what I'm going to give it. Just it was fun. And then we had the main event, the first ever women's Royal Rumble match. Stephanie McMahon would be on commentary. She contributed very little. And Maria Menounos would be the ring announcer. She contributed to my eardrums bursting because she was horrible at her job. So let's get to the entrance for this Rumble. My phone, literally, people love me a lot. Okay, so entrant 1 in the Rumble was Sasha Banks. Sasha came out in a Wonder Woman outfit, and entry number 2 was Becky Lynch. They basically did the same thing, thrown over the ropes, all that stuff. Number 3 was Sarah Logan. Number 4 was Mandy Rose. Number 5 was Lita. Nobody was eliminated. This is where people start to get eliminated. So Lita was the first surprise, a surprise that I predicted, and it was very easy to predict. The surprises in this Rumble, I will say that this Rumble to me was slightly less exciting because the surprises were more common and they were easy to predict. You knew Beth was going to be in there. You knew Trish and Lita were going to be in there. They have to be in there. Who else is going to be in there? I'll tell you the one that did shock me in a bit. So Lita was number 5. Lita eliminated Mandy Rose. I think did she just knock her off the apron with an elbow? Yeah, I think that was it. Mandy Rose is a great ass, I'm just going to say. Number 6 was another surprise, Kairi Sane of NXT. She came out and gave her amazing elbow to Sasha Banks. She then gave it to Becky Lynch. Number 7 was Tamina. Tamina was eliminated very quickly as well. She gave super kicks to everybody, but eventually she was eliminated by Lita, who basically just dropped down, pulled the ropes. Looks a bit clunky. Like, this match was a bit clunkier and sloppier because the women haven't done it before, but, you know, it's just a battle royal still. Like, number 8 was Dana Brooke. She looked quite good, actually, weirdly. She did some great flips. No, she didn't. She didn't do any flip. She did do a flip into, like, a back elbow. Number 9 was another surprise. It was Tori Wilson, another one I actually saw coming. And I'm not just saying this in hindsight. Like, I knew Tori Wilson would be there. I knew Lita would be there. Because there's only certain legends that you can use. And Tori Wilson is kind of like counterproductive to this whole women's evolution thing, because she is, you know, she was the sex symbol for WWE in the early 2000s. She's Tori Wilson. She was bra and panties, boobs everywhere. Tori Wilson with the lollipop. So I thought it was kind of counterproductive to have her here. But on the other hand, I do get that she's an important part of women's history in the company. And not even just WWE, but in WCW as well. So I'm fine that she was there. She actually got an elimination as well. She eliminated Dana Brooke. So Sonya Deville would be out next. I believe she actually eliminated Tori with like a big head kick. Tori Wilson, I think, looked good as well. Like, my friend said she looked 19, and I thought, not 19, but she looked good for her age. And she's not like old or out, but number 11 was Liv Morgan. Liv came out. She worked with Sarah Logan, obviously, for a bit. Molly Holly would come out as number 12. There's a surprise I actually didn't see coming. So there's one that I didn't see coming. 13 was Lana. Lana was awesome. By this point, Sarah Logan had been eliminated. Molly hit the Molly go-round on Sasha Banks, which I thought was cool. Lana came out, and Lana was just great, fighting everybody off until she was eliminated by Michelle McCool. Yeah, Michelle McCool was number 14. Again, another one that was just obvious. Number 15, halfway through the Rumble, Ruby Riott comes out. And then number 16 was my favourite surprise, Vicky Guerrero, because I didn't see that one coming. And she is still as good a heat magnet as she was in the late 2000s. So kudos to Vicky Guerrero. She comes out, and the 4 girls in the ring, it was Ruby, Sasha, Becky, and Michelle McCool. Because Liv Morgan had been eliminated by this point. At this point, like, Michelle McCool ran roughshod. She eliminated Liv Morgan and Lana and Sonya Deville. And then the 4 women in the ring, Ruby Riott, Michelle McCool, who has a history of Vicky Guerrero, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch, all looked at Vicky Guerrero, who was shouting "excuse me" at them, and they picked her up and they dropped her over the ropes. They did it very safely, thank God. But yeah, that was my favourite moment of the Rumble. It just was the most unsurprising to me. Surprising, sorry. It was the most surprising. It just caught me off guard, Vicky. I'd heard that they got in contact with her, but I didn't know if they'd actually get her. Number 17 was Carmella, and Vicky, just in one last moment of malice, would grab Carmella's briefcase and hit her with it, which was a cool moment. Natalya was number 18. I think by this point... Yeah, I'm thinking... Oh, God. I'm sorry, I just had a total... Bleh. I just had a total moment. I think by this point, Ruby Riott had eliminated Becky Lynch by, like, biting her hands as she was on the ropes. And then, obviously, 18 was Natalya, 19 was Kelly Kelly, another one easy to predict. 20 was Naomi, and then 21 was Jacqueline. And now the eliminations started to pile up. Nia Jax would be 22. Nia Jax would eliminate a couple of people. She eliminated Kelly Kelly, Naomi, and Jacqueline very quickly. Naomi did this cool spot as well, so Naomi is going to be the new Kofi for the Women's Rumble. Naomi basically jumped, leapfrogged from... I can't explain it. Basically, she got knocked off the apron, but she jumped into a crowd of women on the floor. She got on the barricade. She walked around the barricade, got a chair. Kofi's done it before. Well, similarly, but she got on her hands and knees and pulled the chair and then put her feet back on the steps, only to be thrown out a second later. Cool. 22 was Nia Jax. 23, another surprise, Ember Moon. That was kind of a cool surprise. The NXT champion. It shows again that the belt means something because you get that promotion to kind of be on a bigger stage. And you won't be there for long, but it's a big moment that you need to take advantage of. And I appreciate that because that's sound psychology and sound writing. 24, Beth Phoenix. She wouldn't last very long though. Natalya eliminated Beth Phoenix very quickly after about 2 minutes. Beth eliminated someone, but I can't believe who it was. Oh, she eliminated no one. Sorry. Apologies for that. She actually eliminated no one. I'm really shocked. Yeah, she did eliminate. That's weird. Natalya and Beth would fight Nia Jax off and knock her through the ropes, not over them. And then Natalya and Beth would hug, but Natalya would slap her and then throw her out the ring. I don't know why Beth Phoenix didn't get a lot of time, but whatever. 25 was Asuka, the big dark horse. I won't say it yet. 26 was Mickie James. She came out and eliminated no one either. And then 27, Nikki Bella from SmackDown Live would return. This was a surprise. Kind of. I mean, not really. Again, not really. Like, I knew both Bellas would be back, to be honest. And Nikki was the most likely of the two. But if Nikki was there, I'd imagine the other one was going to be there as well. Nikki came out, and so did Brie. And they kind of ran roughshod for a bit. Brie ran roughshod with knees to everyone. She did the S chants. Everybody hated Nikki. They basically said Cena sucks to her, which I thought was great, just great. 29 was Bayley, who didn't last long either, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then 30 was Trish Stratus, so it would not be Ronda Rousey at number 30, as I talked about in my video last night. Please go check it out if you haven't watched it already. 30 was Trish Stratus. To me, after Bayley came out, I knew number 30 had to be Trish Stratus because it's Trish Stratus. You can't really have a Rumble without Trish Stratus. You can't have a women's match, like a women's historic match, without Trish Stratus. So Trish was awesome. She got a couple of eliminations, I believe. 3 actually. She was eliminated by Sasha Banks. I know that. She eliminated a couple of people. But eventually, obviously, we'd get down to the final 4, and the final 4 would be, so it was Sasha, Nikki. The final 5 was Sasha, Trish, Nikki, Brie, and Asuka. Bayley was eliminated by Sasha Banks, kind of like a heel turn thing. Like, Sasha was very heely in this matchup, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Trish would then be eliminated by Sasha, Sasha was like, I'm the boss. And Trish was like, yeah, you're really the boss. She went for Stratisfaction, and then Sasha just threw over the ropes. Sasha would then make an alliance with the Bella Twins to try and take out Asuka, but the Bella Twins would then throw Sasha over the top ropes as she went for the bank stamp in the corner, which I thought was kind of a nice spot. But that meant that the final 3 in the Rumble were the Bella Twins and Asuka, and I was kind of a little scared that they wouldn't give Asuka this. But Asuka, Nikki eliminated Brie with her forearm in the apron, as Asuka tried to eliminate Brie, and then intentional forearm from Nikki as well. And then Nikki and Asuka would eventually get out to the apron, and Nikki would forearm Asuka, who would kick Nikki in the legs, sort of, but I feel like she missed, and then Nikki just fell off the apron. Asuka wins the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. This was exactly what it needed to be. Like, the winner was perfect. There was no one else that could win. No one else at all. Asuka wins, perfect. Boom, bang, bing. As far as the match goes, this wasn't as good as the other Rumble. I think that's mainly because the surprises were too plentiful, and that takes away from a surprise. It's not surprising if every single entrant in your match is a surprise, or is supposed to be a surprise. And I knew most of them as well. Like, the men's ones, like the Hurricane and Ray, and the 2 NXT guys were really shocking. These ones outside of Vicky and Molly Holly were really obvious. So Asuka into our Rumble. I'm going to give that match 3 3/4 stars. I think it was a very, very good attempt at a first ever Women's Rumble. Not as good as the man's on this night, though. The man's was awesome. And Asuka's, you think that the show is going to end with Asuka making the choice of which champion she will fight. As Charlotte and Alexa was sitting at ringside, obviously with Steph on commentary, and it was Graves and Cole who did the whole match with Stephanie. Stephanie contributed very little to commentary. So in the end, in the ring, you've got Charlotte as the SmackDown Women's Champion, Alexa as the Raw Women's Champion, and Asuka, the 3 most powerful women in the company, until Bad Reputation by Joan Jett starts playing, and the crowd look to the Tron, and they all lose their shit, and the Tron says Rowdy Ronda Rousey in Hot Rod's writing, because she took her name Rowdy from Roddy Piper. She asked if she could take the name, and Roddy Piper allowed it. And then Ronda comes out in a jacket that's 2 sizes too big for her, and a Rowdy Ronda Rousey shirt, and she comes down to the ring, and she's smiling, and this is just off topic, I honestly think Ronda Rousey is so pretty. Like, and this is totally off topic, and I know I'm talking about wrestling, but I think Ronda Rousey is so pretty. Like, genuinely, she looked stunning. She looks so stunning when she smiles. Ronda Rousey gets in the ring. She wants to shake hands with Asuka. Asuka slaps her away. Ronda points at the Mania sign. She gets out of the ring. She goes and shakes Stephanie's hand. Points at the sign again. Points at the sign again. Show ends. Oh my god. That show ending was amazing, because to me, it was just I think when I knew Rousey would be there, but I think when she didn't come out at number 30, I'd given up hope. And then she just came out, and I think it was better that she did just come out as opposed to be in the Rumble. Because if she's in the Rumble, then she's winning the first ever Women's Rumble, having contributed nothing to it. So it doesn't make sense. She's contributed nothing to this women's evolution in this sport. She has, obviously, she's the biggest sporting female on the planet. You know, you've got Serena Williams, and there's no one in like, I feel like as well, though, the problem is that Rousey's star power is so leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else in the company. Like, not just the women. The only person in the whole company, the only two people in the whole company whose star power is anywhere close are Brock and Cena. And they're not even that close. Rousey's a big actress. She was obviously a proper icon for her sport, and she will be an icon for that sport. The WWE want her to be an icon for professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and I think that if they book this right, they can do. The problem is that Rousey has very little training, as do the other, well, two of the other horsewomen, Jessamyn Duke and, I'm sorry, I can't remember the other one's name. Obviously, Shayna Baszler is a trained wrestler, but Jessamyn Duke and the other one, and Rousey, don't have any training. So, well, I imagine Rousey's got a bit. So if they do that 4 horsewoman tag, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do that, I imagine they'll probably do Rousey against Charlotte, horsewoman against horsewoman for the SmackDown Women's title, which means Asuka will have to take on Alexa, which kind of upsets me because I'd prefer it if Asuka chose who she wanted as opposed to just getting given the scraps of Rousey. Now, this isn't me condemning Rousey. I think Rousey is great for this company. This company need something big. And, you know, financially, the company hasn't been great for a couple of years. And I think Rousey could really be the light to kind of send them on. Yeah, though, excited. Really excited to see what Rousey says on Raw or SmackDown tonight. And I'm excited to we're on the road to WrestleMania. I'm somewhat excited for this 34 show. If it's still Reigns and Lesnar, it'll still probably be a really good match. That's the one thing that people need to remember, because the last one was great. And I guess that's it, guys. That is my Royal Rumble 2018 review. Thanks for watching. This has been Revolver Ocelot. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to Ronda Rousey's debut, even though it's not really a debut because it's been on TV twice? SummerSlam 2014 and WrestleMania 31, which has been on TV loads then, Mae Young Classic. I just had a thought. I just totally lost my... which of the 2 Rumbles was your favourite? What do you think to 2 Japanese winners of Rumbles? Never happened before. Yokozuna won the Rumble. What do you think to the first winner of the Women's Rumble? What do you think to Nakamura and Styles at Mania? What did you think to the Triple Threat for the Universal title, the handicap match for the WWE title, the 2 tag team title matches? Which one of those did you prefer? What did you think to your surprise entrance? And which was your favourite surprise entrant? For me, it would probably have to be Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Revolver Ocelot. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks, guys.